ones that die. It's last tonight. Just you and I get lost tonight. Then lose your mind. Squad. I'm dead. 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 Squad. Oh my God. Fire. Squad. I'm dead.
I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. It's hard to imagine this not being a fun game to watch. It's the Eagles going up against the Chiefs. With that, it's time to hook up with our commentators in the booth as we turn it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
The children will groan. It's the final weekend of summer, but we've got the NFL, and we're underway on EA Sports. On the return, here's C.J. Spiller. And he is hit pretty hard from the side as he's knocked down. So here come the Chiefs for their opening drive. And here's a man in his 13th year out of Utah, their quarterback, Alex Smith, the former #1 overall pick.
Would you say that last week's performance by him, workmanlike in terms of numbers?
1 touchdown, 1 pick, but obviously a loss.
Yeah, and that's the bottom line for him. All he cares about is how do we find a way to win the game. Maybe leans on a few other parts of the offense.
And right away, he lost the football. So they will set up shop. Excellent field position in the red zone at the 19-yard line. Oftentimes you say some guys have a knack for creating turnovers. He forced a fumble last week. Forces another one.
And one of my good coaching buddies, Frank Delano, always told me, hey, Davis, creating turnovers is not as much about skill as it is about desire.
Oh, I thought it was going to be will, because will rhyme with skill.
Come on,
But desire. We'll go with desire.
What are you, the ride master now?
They'll come out throwing here on first down. And he dumps it off to Blunt. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it a second down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground.
Let's go.
They'll run it here with Blunt. And he'll be taken down at the 2-yard line. And there are the numbers a week ago for LeGarrette Blunt. 13 carries, 124 yards.
Well, they set a nice tone in week 1. He's among the leading rushers in the league. I think that they continue to feed him the football and continue to establish the running game so they can get the play action and throw the ball deep later on.
An incomplete, crisis averted, almost picked. Instead, second down. So a look here at the key inactives, and we got this list before the game down on the field. And they tell us the same thing every time, don't they? Next man up.
No excuses. Be ready to play. That's the mantra of every organization.
This is taken in by Jeffrey. He's got it. Touchdown, Eagles. Alshon Jeffrey, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Eagles have taken the early lead. So a tiptoe catch back in the end zone, so tough to do, but he made it look pretty easy.
Certainly did, and the back of the end zone is treated the same way as the sideline. You have to get your feet down in bounds for it to count as a catch. How about the backgrounds of some of these guys, though? Did they work on it? Maybe some of them were ballet, some dance, who knows?
Yeah, you and I were talking the other day. I remember one of my favorite kids shows growing up. I don't know that I want to name it, but guys like Lynn Swan, they used to be on there showing their ballet skills.
And you have to remember when they were kids and their parents would tell them to take the ballet classes, you know they were fighting them like crazy. But right now they're saying, thanks, Mom.
Elliott now to kick this one away. That's fielded in the end zone. And all deep in his own territory, coughs up the football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
A good run there on first down, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 2.
And that run there does nothing but juice up the guys who are moving the football. I mean, if you're an offensive lineman, people running it, actually the guy calling plays, you're almost jumping up and down jubilation, aren't you?
And now you've got options on 2nd down.
And big-time options. You might want to think about play action and try and get something cheap right here over the top.
And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
We all have habits. We can be somewhat predictable, and you know me pretty well on 2nd down and short. What I like to say?
Play action.
Yeah, without a doubt. I thought that was a great spot to call it. Instead, didn't go their way, did it?
Now, defense sold out for the run. Worked out well. It's a gain of 20 and picking up the 1st. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. And after the play on the ground, that brings up 2nd down here. A shotgun snap for Smith. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes.
The game plan for any defense is finding ways to make a quarterback uncomfortable in the pocket. When you bring pressure from all angles, you never know who's going to get home. In this case, the left cornerback, right in the face of him, puts him down.
A big gain of 38 there on 3rd down.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that and have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
The line for play number 7 of the drive. They'll run again with Hunt. And he'll get down to about the 26-yard line. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
Getting had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. On 3rd down, that's Hunt, and he will have a 1st down at about the 21-yard line. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. Now a 1st down throw. It's Smith. And he floated one out there incomplete. Albert Wilson, the intended receiver there. And that'll bring up 2nd down.
Well, he kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
Smith with a give to Hunt. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it. And that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
He dropped it. couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. And the kick by Butker is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
A reminder, coming up tonight, Green Bay visits Atlanta. All sorts of storylines there. A playoff rematch, also the opening of Mercedes-Benz Stadium. And then on Monday night, the Giants host the Lions.
So the Giants play on Sunday night and Monday night to open the season.
Yeah, 2 under the lights. A big play there on the catch and run. 42 yards.
After that nice game there, for the rest of the game, the defense is going to have to respect the running backs as passing threats as well. Not just play them strictly to run the football. They may be able to get downfield and catch it, too.
LeGarrette Blount, touchdown, Philadelphia. LeGarrette Blount, his first touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Eagles add 6 to their lead. For Blount, a career-high 18 rushing touchdowns for the Patriots in 2016. Now he's got his first to start the new campaign with his new club.
And, partner, you know how it is when a player goes to a new team. They may miss the old one, but they also want to show them what they're missing. And this is the first one for him. He hopes it's many with his new club.
Trying to build off that banner year he had in 2016. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
We're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Bigger chunks. We'll see if they can get the score.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
Back to throw, Smith. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Michael Kendricks. Not dropping into coverage. He comes on the blitz and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Well, that play was the very definition of fast, quick, and in a hurry. Suddenly, he was there.
In a blink of an eye, that happened fast and a big sack. Throwing the out route incomplete. That's Robinson. And he goes out of bounds across the 40-yard line. A gain of 19 and picking up the first. Now a play fake here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Donnell Allerby. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9.
I'm starting to feel for that quarterback back there. I mean, you know me. Normally, don't have a lot of empathy for the QB, right? In this case, definitely. He's been under constant duress this entire game. I don't know how he's surviving back there.
And to think, there's still a long way to go in this football game. And he's able to take this one up to the 35-yard line. It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. 2 minutes to go here in the first half. We're back to Arrowhead after this. A reminder, coming up at halftime, Larry Ridley will join us from Orlando with our halftime report, but business to take care of before that. On 3rd down, it's Hunt, and a few little style points on the juke, but not much room to maneuver after that. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on 4th down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Call that 49 yards on the punt. They do get 7 back on the return. And the Eagles will be backed up deep to get the drive started as they take over 1st and 10. Back out for another drive comes LeGarrette Blount. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals.
That was a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong, he's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more. And this is why trying to cover the angle route is so difficult. Anyone playing the linebacker position, when they see a running back out of the backfield widen because he heads towards the flat first, oftentimes you widen too much and overcommit. He cuts up inside, and that's what we saw there. A nice pickup for a first down.
Another nice gain, 16 yards there at a first down again. They'll look to throw now on first down. He's going to wind up and air it out. And nearly picked off there. Almost intercepted. Instead, second down.
Oh, man, that was close. The opportunity to change momentum, big play, right in his hands, unable to come down with it.
A sigh of relief, no doubt, on offense that that fell harmlessly to the ground. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Steps away to his left. And he'll be out of bounds, able to take it down to the 40. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
That was an excellent job of recognizing the situation. His first read wasn't there. Heck, his second read wasn't there. But he bought himself a little extra time scrambling out of the pocket, got to the sticks, and picked up the first down.
And now running right through it. And he's going to line here. Now a timeout taken. Perhaps a chance for one more quick play and then another timeout if they hurry. We'll see. And this will split the uprights. It's right down the middle. And they will stretch the lead now to 17-3. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As we'll send you down to Orlando as we check in with Larry Ridley and our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
All right, Brandon, we'll see if I can get through this without being skipped as we welcome you to our EA Sports Halftime Report. The Chiefs haven't played their best football and trail because of it. The Eagles have come in and looked good as the road team, and will just keep trying to play hard and maintain the lead going forward. All right, let's get it going. Let's roll those first half highlights. Now after the fumble.
Now you folks don't know what you're missing. Missing Larry Ridley. Ready to get back, though, to this Week 2 matchup. Let's get to it. Fielded about a yard deep. Out come the Eagles now as they'll go on offense first here in the third quarter. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? They score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly, because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, I think you can take the spirit away from another team. That their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still third quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
He got 29 yards that time. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And this is Ertz with it, right side. And fighting down inside the 25. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs.
His position, and he's listed as a tight end, but he certainly doesn't run like one, and that's what we're seeing more and more coming into the league. Those guys who can run, make plays after the catch, and gain that additional yardage.
And using that speed there to turn it into a pretty nice little gain. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a first down again. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
And he almost had it defensively. Could have been a game changer there in this second half. Instead, it's third down.
I know in every game we do, we talk about momentum. That was a momentum play lost. And now there could be a letdown because they didn't get the interception.
Yeah, you could almost hear the collective gasp on the sideline as he could not come up with that football. That almost intercepted. Would have been a huge pick in the end zone, but as it stands, that brings up fourth.
These guys had to settle for a field goal their last time moving the ball down the field. They may have to do it again on this drive. That could be frustrating.
Yeah, I don't want to be cliche, but at least they were able to get 3 last time, 3 here. Not the worst thing in the world. So it's an old-school extra point, but certainly a disappointment that they couldn't get 6.
Yeah, when you see 19-yard field goal in the box score, you kind of shake your head. But their head coach decided 3 was enough.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And the decision to come out is going to cost him 5 as he's taken down right at the 20. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here in half 2.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
Smith going to give this one to Hunt. And he'll get this one up to the 26. 2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a third and about 4 for a first.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up 4th down.
We're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. Here's Dustin Colquitt now. On for his second punt. He'd take a repeat of his first. He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. And that's a 48-yard punt with a coverage holding him to 3 on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over a 1st and 10. Here comes the field general leading his offense back out there for the next possession. How do you break down his game so far? Just the 1 touchdown pass, but sometimes the touchdown pass stat category, that doesn't tell the whole story.
It really doesn't. Not until you balance it with the error side. You know, and in this case, he hasn't thrown any interceptions. So a lot of people would call this almost a pedestrian game, kind of a bus driver game. But that's just really wrong. Being a bus driver is a good thing if you're running a football team, because that means you're in control and you're taking your team to the right places.
Yeah, he's been pretty solid. Back to throw now on first down. And he finds his tight end. It's Ertz. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. Fifth catch of the game for him there. Yeah, and the tight end position is now becoming a volume pass catcher. Used to be occasional, right? Safety valve. Throw one to him every so often, but mainly they want him out there to block. Nowadays, an integral part of the passing game, and they create such great mismatches that they often become the leading receiver. 11 more on that one and another first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone? Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point. LeGarrette Blount, touchdown, Philadelphia. LeGarrette Blount with 2 touchdowns on the season, both in this game. And the Eagles add on to their lead. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now. Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so. And the lead is now 24. Elliott now to kick this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Now the Chiefs offense, they get ready to head on the field. They have been struggling. I would imagine at halftime they went through some possible changes. Well, those changes aren't working, so now where do you go? I think that now pressure comes and down he goes. The Eagles get there for the sack. Fletcher Cox with a great push up front. He picks up the sack and a loss of 8. The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter. Smith going to leave it to Hunt on the draw. And he loses the football a second time. And it's picked up by the Eagles. And they have the football and will take over at the 24-yard line. And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter. You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT in the game. Instead, second down. He's lucky to be getting that one back. After what they've done with him all day long with all the targets trying to go after him, he's obviously gotten smart, and his pride is kicked in. Made a terrific play. And he'll take it into the end zone for an Eagles touchdown. Torrey Smith, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Eagles take advantage of good field position on the turnover to cash this one in. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable. And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later? This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And the decision to bring it out will cost him about 5 yards as he'll get this only back to the 20. And now here comes Kansas City. And last time, not only the turnover, but that turned into 6 points. They got to make up for that here. We always hear about empty possessions, but some are worse than others. You can have an empty possession, pump the ball away, get yourself set to play defense, but when you turn it over, it changes momentum. And he's taken down. Back at his own 7. Brandon Graham in there to bury him for a loss of 11.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up.
In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end zone loose. And fortunately, he's able to reel it back in, but it's going to go down as a big loss here on the play. Things are just going from bad to worse now. It's a safety that does him in here, and that is one frustrated offensive unit.
They can't get out from under their own shadow right now. I mean, I know this is the NFL, but could you imagine a college crowd right now? Imagine what they'd be doing. They'd be chanting, "Start the bus," because they think this one is over.
Here comes Eagle offense now as they get set to take over here. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, just don't really do that in the NFL. You know, these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game, and that's always puzzled me a little bit. You get a tight end like this, and you know he's used to dishing out punishment, but here, he's going to have to absorb the contact, and as a result, unable to hold on to the football.
They'll tussle for it, and this is going to be caught. A good pickup there, a 22. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era, and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Oh, and now he bowls him over. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
I once had a defensive player in the NFL tell me, if I beat and dominate the guy across from me, I'm helping my team. Well, winning one-on-one battles is always a part of the game, but when you have good team defense, as we just saw there, one broken tackle, but he didn't get away because the rest of the guys arrived to put him on the ground.
They'll run again with Blunt. Another 2-yard gain there, but they'll need to do better this time. It's 3rd and 6.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards. Sometimes the coverage is so good, no matter what you're doing on offense, you just can't shake anyone free. They try their best to find someone open, but they took away every passing alley, every angle, and shut the play down.
Here's the battering ram, Blunt. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line. 11 yards on the pickup, and on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks. Time for a break. Back to finish it off on EA Sports after this. So it's Eagle football here as we get you reset. And they have just about put this one on ice as they've got it here, 1st and 10. Again, here's Blunt. Even with that broken tackle, he'll be brought down short of the 15. A gain of 3, 2nd down.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
Here's Blunt. Ooh, with a juke. A nice pickup of 14, and it moves the stick, sets up a 1st and goal.
I've got an idea. Let's skip racing to the airport at the end of this game. Let's go to the post-game press conference. I have a feeling that the quarterback of this winning team is going to give a whole lot of credit to the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, I was just going to say the offensive line, yes, carrying the ball has been key, but those guys up front, they've made a lot of space. So stuff from the 2, now what?
You know me pretty well. What do you think I want here?
Play action.
Definitely.
And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Looking like they're well on their way to a 2-0 start. All smiles right now on that sideline, isn't it?
As well there should be. It's hard to win a game in the NFL. We hear it all the time. We know that it's difficult. But guess who's smiling? But inside is thinking 24-hour rule because we're going to have to play again next week.
Boss man.
Oh, without a doubt. The head coach, he wants them to feel good, but at the same time, find a way to keep improving.
That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. And the Chiefs now getting set to go. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in a game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
To throw is Smith. Trying to find his tight end, Kelsey, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jalen Mills. And he'll get this back to the 32-yard line.
Well, this defensive pressure has been constant all game long. The pass rush, the coverage, they've all been excellent, and now they'll tack on an interception here as this one continues to slip just further and further out of hand.
Here's Foles. And a scary incompletion, almost picked off. It would have been their first INT of the game. Instead, 2nd down. So they just got the football on an interception. They almost gave it right back the same way.
And, you know, when you look over to the bench after that type of a play, number one is pure relief. Didn't give it up. But it's not the coach you're worried about yelling at you. It's those guys on defense who just intercepted the pass who want to break over there. Hey, take care of the football, man.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
They're down here in the 4th, and that personal foul penalty is not going to help.
No, in these types of situations, players will tell you that's extra intensity. From where we sit, it's actually frustration. Not a good play.
Now a handoff looking right. It's a good pickup of 7 yards, and now they're looking at 2nd and goal.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
4th quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on 1st down. They did that, +3.
It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal.
Now, this feels like old-school football because this has turned into a good old-fashioned goal line stand. So on offense, what do you do now? Do you decide to run it or throw it if you go for it on 4th down?
Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.